a silent epidemic, lurking behind today's biggest killers: insulin resistance.
Hi, insulin resistance is at the root of most chronic diseases, right from diabetes, obesity, infertility, as well as fatty liver disease.
But why?
Insulin touches each and every cell in your body, and if cells stop responding to it, the whole system breaks down. In this video, we are going to discuss what insulin resistance is and the three main factors that cause insulin resistance. But the most important part of the video will be the habits that can help you avoid the condition. Think of insulin as a key in your body, produced by a special organ called the pancreas inside your body. So inside the pancreas, there are hardworking cells called the beta cells that continuously produce insulin. The pancreas makes about 1 unit of insulin every hour. That's about 24 units in a full day. But here is the cool part. After you eat, this number can shoot up 4, 5, 6 times higher compared to your normal production, because your body needs extra help to manage the sugar that is coming from the food that you've eaten. Picture every cell in your body like a house with locked doors, and glucose, your body's main fuel, wants to move into the cells. But without insulin, glucose remains stuck outside the cells. So insulin is the key that unlocks all the doors to allow glucose to move into the cells and power you up. So far so good, right? But here is where things go wrong: insulin resistance. This happens when the doors, the cell locks, become very stubborn. The keys still work, but the doors no longer open easily. So what the pancreas does is to produce more and more insulin in order to force the doors to open up and take in the glucose into the cells. So the pancreas pumps out more and more insulin in order to force the cells to open up and let glucose in. Over a time, this tires the system. The system of the pancreas gets tired of doing this, and then health issues start to break out. This condition is known as insulin resistance. The cells are trying to resist taking in the keys, the insulin, to open up to take in glucose. Let's look into the three big factors that cause insulin resistance, and most importantly, what you can do about them. The very first one is too much insulin, or in science we call it hyperinsulinemia. Picture this: you're trying to open a very stubborn door, but it won't budge. So what do? You push even harder and harder. That's exactly what your pancreas does. It pumps more and more insulin in order to force the sugar into the cells. At first, this works and everything is really fine. However, if cells get continuously exposed to very high levels of insulin, they end up becoming numb to it. It's like listening to a very loud alarm every morning. At one time, you end up not noticing if it went or not. It's exactly what happens in the cells. So now, why does this really happen? Usually it is because of repeated spikes of sugary foods and refined carbohydrates. For example, that Coca-Cola that you might take at lunch, that cookie, and then a small bowl of pasta that you might take. All that adds fuel to the fire. So how do we break this cycle? 1. Intermittent fasting. Have you heard of the 16 to 8 method yet? That is 16 hours of fasting and then 8 hours of eating. It is like giving your pancreas time to rest and reset. It is a very effective tool against insulin resistance. The 16 hours of fasting are very key in resetting the pancreas and stopping the cycle. So think about it and research more about it. The second thing that you surely have to do is to add a lemon to all your sugary meals. Lemons are a magic against insulin resistance. Squeeze of a lemon slows down the enzymes that are supposed to break down carbs into sugar. In doing so, they make the sugar spikes less extreme. One more thing that you should definitely do is to swap carbs for proteins. Imagine swapping a toast for an egg at breakfast. Simple swaps like this will keep the insulin levels steady. And lastly, you need to load up fiber. Vegetables, oats, beans, all these have a good amount of fiber which slows down digestion and make the loading of sugars into your body very gradual, not at once. Here is a mistake you should always avoid. Never take insulin shots if you're not diabetic. It might sound like a shortcut, but it only makes insulin resistance worse by loading your body with even much more insulin. So moving on to the second cause, too little insulin or hyperinsulinemia. Now let's flip the script. What if the pancreas simply cannot produce enough insulin? Now this is a problem at the source, the beta cells. And here is a sobering fact. After the age of 20, your body stops being able to replace damaged beta cells. Once they are gone forever. So the question is, what kills them off? The usual suspects are excessive alcohol and smoking, as well as other genetic conditions. These are known to cause fibrosis, which is basically the scarring of the pancreas that results into killing of these insulin-making cells. So importantly, here's what helps. 1. Drinking plenty of water. It's very simple, but hydration clears toxins out of your body, keeping your pancreas functioning better. The second one would be cutting down on alcohol and avoiding smoking, because every drink you have and every puff you take in chips away on those beta cells. So literally think of beta cells as soldiers in an army where you cannot replace them with new ones. So the ones you have to protect them. So the last one is broken locks or the receptor problem. Finally, let's say the pancreas is doing its job, but the cells are resisting. The locks on your cells do not respond to the insulin key. So imagine standing at the front door with a perfectly fine key, but the lock is rusted. No matter how hard you twist, the door will not open. That's exactly what happens when the insulin receptors on the cells do not work properly. So how do you fix the locks? Number 1, vitamin D. Sunlight is the best source for this. Even 20 minutes outdoors can make a very big difference. If you can't do this, for example during winter, then supplements containing vitamin D can come in handy. The second one would be taking vitamin A containing foods. Think of carrots, sweet potatoes, fish. These nutrients improve how well your receptors respond to insulin. So always try to take vitamin A containing foods. So as I promised, those are the 3 main causes of insulin resistance. And here is a simple recap. Too much insulin, try fasting, lemons, fiber, and simple protein swaps. Too little insulin, protect your beta cells with a lot of hydration, cut down on smoking and alcohol use. And lastly, for broken receptors, support them with vitamin A and vitamin D supplements. Do you note something? These aren't fancy medications or complicated treatments. These are simple everyday habits that you can take up. Small changes that over time make massive differences. In the next video, we'll tackle insulin resistance when it is at its worst stage. At this stage, the goal isn't reversal, but it's survival. We'll cover the symptoms to watch out for, like constant thirst, and continuous hunger, and even simple tests that you can try out after meals. So let me ask you, did any of these factors sound familiar to you? Drop a comment right below. And if you found this helpful, hit a like, subscribe, and share with someone you care about. Till next time, remember, take care of your body. It's the only one you've got. Cheers.